There was a time when the darkest places weren't forests. They were marshes. Wide stretches of mist-covered land where every step could sink beneath the water, and every path seemed to disappear before your eyes. People who crossed them after sunset carried more than a lantern. They carried old warnings. Because if, somewhere in the distance, you saw a lonely light drifting through the fog, you were told never to follow it. For centuries, people across Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England told stories of strange glowing lights appearing over lonely marshes. Some called them wandering spirits. Others believed they were mischievous fairies or restless souls unable to find peace. They became known as the-Wisp. Some described the light as a tiny lantern floating above the ground. Others said it danced just beyond reach, always leading the curious a little farther into the mist. No matter how the story was told, one warning remained unchanged. Stay on the path. One old legend tells of a traveler making his way home across the marshes after visiting a nearby village. The journey was familiar. He had walked the same path countless times. His lantern cast a warm circle of light across the ground, and the evening was unusually still. Then, far ahead, another light appeared. It was small, golden, almost like another traveler carrying a lantern. Relieved that he might have company, the man called out. No one answered. The light continued moving, slowly, silently. He quickened his pace. So did the lantern. Whenever he thought he was getting closer, it drifted just a little farther away. The traveler smiled to himself. Perhaps the other person simply hadn't heard him. He left the path, only for a moment, just long enough to catch up. The ground beneath his boots became softer. The mist grew thicker. Soon the familiar road had disappeared behind him. Still, the lantern floated ahead, always close enough to see, never close enough to reach. The air became strangely quiet. Even the wind seemed to stop. The traveler finally realized he no longer knew which direction led home. He turned. The path was gone. Only endless reeds and pale fog surrounded him. For what felt like hours, he wandered through the marsh, chasing one light after another until, exhausted, he collapsed beneath the stars. When morning arrived, local villagers found him only a short distance from the road he had first left behind. He could never explain where he had been, nor could he explain why his own lantern had gone out while the mysterious light had continued to burn. From that day forward, he refused to cross the marsh after sunset. Whenever children asked him why, he would simply point toward the wetlands and quietly say, "The safest road is the one you already know." Some believed the wandering lights were spirits playing tricks on lonely travelers. Others thought they protected hidden places that humans were never meant to enter. Today, science offers another explanation. In certain wetlands, naturally occurring gases can sometimes ignite, creating faint glowing lights above the marsh. Yet for generations, people preferred another answer. That somewhere beyond the mist, someone was still carrying a lantern, waiting. Perhaps the true purpose of the story was never to frighten people. Marshes were dangerous places. Fog could hide deep water. A single wrong step could leave a traveler hopelessly lost. By giving the danger a glowing lantern and a mysterious story, parents taught their children to respect places that demanded caution. Even today, reports of strange lights continue to appear from different parts of the world. Most have simple explanations. Some remain unexplained. And perhaps that is why the legend of the-Wisp has never truly faded. Sometimes the oldest stories survive because they remind us that curiosity is a wonderful thing. But wisdom knows when to stay on the path. Thank you for listening to When the World Whispered. Until our next story, keep wondering.